The door at the end of the hall. When 16-year-old Hassan moved into his grandfather's old house, he thought the place was perfect. The mansion stood alone on a hill outside a small village. It was huge, surrounded by dead trees and hidden beneath almost constant fog. Most people avoided it. The villagers whispered strange stories about the house. They claimed that nobody stayed there for long. But Hassan didn't believe in ghosts. Neither did his parents. "It'll be fine," his father said as they unpacked boxes. "Old houses make strange noises. That's all." Hassan agreed. At least at first. The first few nights were normal. The house creaked and groaned because of its age. The wind rattled windows. Nothing unusual. Then, on the fourth night, Hassan woke up at exactly 3:03 a.m. He wasn't sure why. The room felt strangely cold. As he sat up, he heard something. A knock. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. The sound came from somewhere inside the house. Not outside. Inside. Hassan checked his phone. 3:03 a.m. He listened carefully. Silence. After a few minutes he lay back down and eventually fell asleep. The next morning, he forgot about it. The following night, it happened again. 3:03 a.m. 3 knocks. Slow. Deliberate. Coming from somewhere upstairs. This time Hassan got out of bed. He stepped into the hallway. The old wooden floor creaked beneath his feet. The house was silent. Dark. Empty. Then he noticed something strange. At the very end of the upstairs hallway stood a door. A black wooden door. Hassan frowned. He had never seen it before. He was certain of that. The hallway ended in a wall. There had never been a door there. Yet now it existed. He approached it carefully. The closer he got, the colder the air became. When he finally stood before it, he noticed something carved into the wood. A single sentence. "Do not open." Hassan stared at the words. Then laughed nervously. Someone must have been playing a prank. He grabbed the handle. Locked. He returned to bed. The next morning he asked his parents. "What door?" His mother asked. "The black door upstairs." "There isn't a black door upstairs." Hassan frowned. "Yes, there is." His father shook his head. "Show us." They walked upstairs together. The hallway ended exactly where it always had. With a wall. No door. Nothing. Hassan felt a chill crawl up his spine. That night he stayed awake. At exactly 3:03 a.m., the knocks returned. Knock, knock, knock. This time he immediately rushed into the hallway. The door was back, standing at the end of the corridor. Waiting. The message remained carved into the wood. "Do not open." But now there was something else. A second sentence. One Hassan knew hadn't been there before. "He can hear you." The moment he read it, another sound emerged from behind the door. Breathing. Slow, heavy breathing. As if something enormous stood on the other side. Listening. Hassan backed away. For the first time, he felt genuine fear. The next day he visited an elderly villager named Karim. The old man had lived near the mansion his entire life. When Hassan described the door, Karim became pale. Very pale. "You've seen it?" Hassan asked. The old man nodded. "Many years ago." "What is it?" Karim looked toward the window. Then lowered his voice. "The door doesn't lead somewhere." "What do you mean?" "It lets something come here." Hassan laughed nervously. "What something?" The old man's hands trembled. "I opened it." Silence filled the room. "You opened it?" Karim nodded. "When I was young." "What happened?" The old man swallowed hard. 3 of my friends disappeared." A cold feeling settled inside Hassan's stomach. They were never found. That night Hassan locked himself in his room. He wasn't taking any chances. 3:03 a.m. The knocks came again. Louder than ever. Knock, knock, knock. Then came another sound. A voice. Deep. Inhuman. Whispering through the hallway. "Hassan." His blood froze. The voice knew his name. Hassan. Slow footsteps echoed outside his room. Heavy. Dragging. Approaching. He held his breath. The footsteps stopped directly outside his door. Silence. Then came scratching. Long fingernails dragging across wood. Slowly. Patiently. The scratching continued until sunrise. Then stopped. For several nights it happened again and again. The footsteps. The whispers. The scratching. Every night closer. Every night louder. Until finally, on the 7th night, Hassan couldn't take it anymore. He needed answers. At 3:03 a.m. he left his room and walked toward the black door. The breathing behind it sounded stronger now. Almost excited. The carved warning had changed again. Now it read, "Please don't let him out." Hassan stared at the words. Then noticed something beneath the door. A key. Someone, or something, had pushed it through from the other side. The breathing stopped. Everything became silent. As though whatever waited there was watching. Waiting. Hassan knew he should leave. He knew every instinct screamed at him to run. But curiosity won. Slowly, he picked up the key. Inserted it into the lock. Turned. Click. The door unlocked. The house suddenly shook. Every light exploded. Windows shattered. A terrible scream echoed through the mansion. The breathing returned. Now directly behind the door. Hassan grabbed the handle. Pulled. The door creaked open. Darkness waited beyond. Not a room. Not a hallway. Just endless blackness. Then two enormous white eyes appeared inside it. Watching him. Unblinking. Far too high above the ground. Whatever owned them was huge. A smile slowly formed beneath the eyes. A smile filled with hundreds of jagged teeth. Then the creature stepped forward. Hassan slammed the door shut. Locked it. The entire house shook violently. Something massive threw itself against the other side. Again. And again. And again. The wood cracked. Splintered. The creature roared. A sound so horrifying Hassan felt blood trickle from his ears. The door wouldn't hold much longer. Desperate, he remembered something Karim had said. The door only appears if someone notices it. Suddenly Hassan understood. He squeezed his eyes shut. Refusing to look. Refusing to think about it. Refusing to acknowledge it. The roaring grew distant. The shaking weakened. The cold began to fade. Slowly. Very slowly. Silence returned. When Hassan finally opened his eyes, morning sunlight filled the hallway. The black door was gone. Only a wall remained. His family moved out a week later. The mansion was abandoned once again. Years passed. Hassan never spoke about what happened. Never returned. Never even thought about it. At least, he tried not to. Because sometimes, in the middle of the night, he still wakes at exactly 3:03 a.m. And from somewhere deep inside his house, he hears 3 slow knocks. Knock, 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 followed by a whisper from the darkness. I remember you. And every time he hears it, he wonders if the door is gone. Or merely waiting to be noticed again. The End-Eye Door Crescent Moon.